What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 0, through to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. Our defence of our Carabao Cup trophy begins with a victory, an impressive one against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford, and best performance of the season, really. I mean, it's not, you don't have to be a genius. It's not, top-notch analysis or anything like that. It's best performance of the season. You don't want to get, obviously, too carried away because we played a really poor Crystal Palace side this evening. And they rotated quite a bit as well, which I never understand. A side like Crystal Palace, I never understand why they would rotate, because they're involved in, realistically, 2 competitions per season. Obviously, throw the way the league, they're not going to get relegated or anything like that. So you've got FA Cup and Carabao Cup to go for, and then they rotate. But I'm not complaining too much, because Manchester United, you have to play who's in front of you. You have to beat who's in front of you as well. And boy, did we this evening at Old Trafford. We were absolutely fantastic. I mean, you look at the thumbnail, you look at the title, it says Casemiro and Amrabat Masterclass. The thumb says the Cas and Amrabat show, and certainly wasn't it. Sofian Amrabat making his first start for Manchester United, and God, he was good. God, he was very, very, very good. And I'm trying to walk that fine line between getting too carried away, because as I mentioned, it's the Carabao Cup. It's against Palace. It's at home. It wasn't their strongest side. But as I mentioned, you do have to beat who's in front of you. And Casemiro gets the man of the match performance today, gets man match award, rather, from Sky Sports. And deservedly so. He was absolutely everywhere. Goal, assist. It was one of those games for Casemiro, wasn't it, whereby to say that he's just a destroyer does him such a disservice, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, those narratives when he first came over from Real Madrid, and he just won the ball in a midfield of Modric and Kroos, and he gave the ball to them and they sprayed it around. I mean, that was kind of his role, but it's not to say that he can't do it, because when he's given that sort of freer role, and when he's given actually partnerships whereby they can help him, they can facilitate him, that's the key thing as well. It's no coincidence. Don't get carried away here. It's no coincidence that Casemiro has his best performance of the season. And he did quite well against Burnley, in fairness, at the weekend as well. So I think he is just a slow starter. We have heard that from his time at Real Madrid. He is a slow starter and he builds into the season. And I think that might be evidence in the last couple of games, certainly. But when he plays in a midfield that has the likes of Mason Mount in the first half, where I thought did very well. I mean, maybe a little bit of concern that he went off at halftime. Maybe he was only going to play 45 minutes or something like that. I don't know. But when he's got Mason Mount alongside him, he's got Hannibal in there as well. So he's got energy, he's got legs. And he's got Sofian Amrabat, who played at left back in the first half, who essentially played midfield in the first half anyway. He was an inverted left back that was so inverted, he was everywhere across the pitch. You help him. That's the difference, isn't it? You help him, you facilitate him. We've been chatting so much this season about how how Casemiro, not that he looks lost, but he looks exhausted and he's trying to cover too much ground and he just can't do it. Well, when you've got helpers in there, when you've got actual combinations and chemistry in there, it makes a massive difference. And in regards to Sofian Amrabat, as I mentioned, played 60 minutes. First half, played left back. And I do want to say to those people, and I didn't get this at all, the team news comes out. Sofian Amrabat's playing left back, clearly playing left back. And people lost their ever-loving minds. What is he doing at left back? Why is he playing left back? What's Erik ten Hag doing? This is such a mess. It's awful. It's a disgrace. And I'm sitting here going, well, it's not ideal, obviously, because we signed him to play midfield. But who on earth would we play there instead? We've got 3, count them, 3 injured left backs. He played there at the weekend, so clearly he was going to play there. And look at the opposition. Look at the opponents. What happens if you've got a team that's going to get behind the ball, low block, and you're going to have a lot of the ball? You can have an inverted fullback that's essentially an extra midfielder, and that's what it was. It was an extra person in the midfield, and United made use of that. So in the first half, that midfield trio, actually almost quartet if you want to include Hannibal in it as well, really, of Casemiro, Mount, Amrabat, and Hannibal, they just absolutely ran the show, and it was excellent to see. And again, don't get too carried away with yourself. It's the Carabao Cup. It's a poor Palace side, but there is room for optimism there. And maybe, just maybe, some of the people that were feeling very, very negative, maybe we'll sort of turn a little bit after that one. I think for the people that are very much on the likes of Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes this season, we'll point to a game like that and go, they'll point to it, certainly. But nevertheless, as I mentioned, a really impressive performance. I do want to, obviously, we shouted out Casemiro, shouted out Amrabat. Mason Mount too, I think obviously got a lot of criticism, certainly, in his first 2 games of the season, but he was really, really impressive in the first half that he played. Obviously, was the pass before the pass of the first goal, great corner for the second goal, poor defending from Palace for that second goal, but certainly he was excellent as well. A clean sheet for Andre Onana too. That's back-to-back clean sheets. And what have we said as well previously? What's it about? Results. It's about results and it's about performances. And tonight, even people that play that people don't like, i.e. Harry Maguire, that's how you win people over. That's how you get people to stop talking negatively. What do? You put in performances. Put in effort, and don't give the critics something to talk about. And they didn't tonight, Man United. And that's the important thing. It's about momentum. What have we said throughout this run? It's about momentum. And certainly 2 wins. Now got to go and do it again at the weekend. Continue to build momentum, but momentum is building. And make no mistake, that United side, it won't be the exact same side that plays at the weekend, I don't think, but that side has a bit more confidence, not as edgy. There's a bit more belief. And you can see maybe the sort of longer term thinking from Erik ten Hag of bringing in these players. Again, Amrabat, Mount, Kobbie Mainoo to come back in, Hannibal, Eriksen on the bench too. There are options involved in that. There are legs involved in that. And wouldn't you know, when you've got just a couple of extra players available that have been injured since the beginning of the season, it makes a massive difference, doesn't it? It makes a huge difference. So credit to them. Who else do I want to give credit to? Anthony Martial really didn't do that much before he scored, but it's good link-up play. And take your chances. No problem with that whatsoever. Alejandro Garnacho, Australian Garnacho. Garnacho, electric throughout the game, and Facundo as well. Width, pace on both sides. I mean, I could go through every player, certainly, couldn't I? Because an excellent game, a very happy and enjoyable watch for Manchester United. A calm watch. What a rarity so far this season. Let's get to the super chats, then we'll get to your calls. If you do want to call in, remember, you have to be a member to become a member. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, and you get your exclusive members-only content, and you can call in to this show, the full-time view, after every single match. If you are a member and you do want to call in, let's go to the YouTube page. There's the community tab. The link is there, available only for members. Click it. You can call in. So there you go. Let's go to the super chats first. Jamai says, more Dutch barbecue every weekend. Well, that was a story, wasn't it? It was a story today that, by all accounts, Erik ten Hag hosted a big barbecue for not only the Man United players, but the United staff as well. And he did another one last month, seemingly bonding together. And I guess it's working. Game Fanatic says, Owen missed the game. How did Donny do? He came on, I don't know what minute he came on. He came on towards the end of the game. By that point, the game was over anyway. So and there wasn't a huge amount of real influence. Doesn't really say when he came on. Nevertheless, he came on for a cameo. I can't really say anything positive or negative, really. Lucas Chan says, great team performance, difficult selections now. Indeed. There are some selections to consider for Erik ten Hag for the weekend. I mean, you would assume Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes will come back in because they're senior, important players for Manchester United. But if there's a drop-off, people will be saying, hey, there's a bit of a difference. A little bit of a difference on old Tuesday evening without them too. But it's a different game. It's a different competition. I don't think Palace will play as bad as they played tonight. Or not even that Palace played bad. They were just indifferent. They were passengers in the game. They were barely participants in it, really. They just did nothing. I mean, really, absolutely nothing in the game. Let's get some of the calls, though. Let's start off. Let's go to Amanor first. Amanor, what were your thoughts on the game? Best performance of the season for you?
Yes. Hello, Owen. I thought it was a comprehensive performance, but it's very hard to say whether is it a really good performance by United or Crystal Palace were just below par. So very hard to say, in my opinion. But the fact that a team turned up at Old Trafford, and we managed to pretty much dominate the game. I can't remember many shots by Crystal Palace. Only there was a couple of shots in the second half, but I like the way we sort of transitioned. This is the first time I actually saw an identity of the team, of the blueprint that Erik ten Hag wants to play this season, which is well, game number 6 or 7 in the season. But this is the first time I've seen it, so that's the positive. for me. I mean, what do you think, Owen, on that point?
No, I agree. I think again, it's no real shock that you talk about identity, that it comes back once we've got more players available. You know, having people like Mason Mount be available, Rafael Varane be available to start from the beginning of the match, having Amrabat be able to start from the match, even having a situation where you've got an Anthony Martial that can start and take him off, and you can bring on Erasmus Højlund. You know, you've got all of these options that we didn't have even a week ago. You know, let alone a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I do agree with your point. Again, it's the Palace side that, as I mentioned, didn't really offer anything at all. It almost felt a little bit like Roy Hodgson kind of wanted out of the cup, to be honest with you. But from a United's point of view, you absolutely will take that, considering where we were, you know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, in terms of just you were ice cold, no momentum, nothing at all. You just sometimes with bad performances, you just need to play through them, and you just need to build up momentum, build up results. And I mean, prior to the match this evening, if we'd have said 3-0, absolutely, I don't think anyone would have predicted that.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit more than that. It's not. Sorry, I keep using the analogy, but my contrast is Tottenham. Don't ask me why, but I look at Tottenham's team and I can see an identity, and it's not necessarily the big players. So they've got players who play a certain way, and they transition very well. This is the first time I saw United do that, and we were missing key players. Now, this is a leading question, but I was thinking in my head, you know, Bruno and Rashford didn't play today at all, but somehow as a team, granted it was against a poor team, we played well and functioned well. We defended well, and we built up play quite well. So there is a question to say that, you know, should Bruno and Rashford automatically come back? You know, I'm not so sure.
I think, first of all, with the Tottenham comparison, I know that obviously they're the in vogue team. Ange Postecoglou is the in vogue manager at the moment. But what I would also say with the Tottenham comparison is they ain't in this trophy anymore. They're out already, which is peak Tottenham. What's Manchester United and what we need to get back to as a club is, even if we're at our worst, even if we're in not great form, we still go through and we still compete for trophies. Spurs ain't competing for this trophy. They've only got one trophy left to compete for this season, FA Cup. They ain't winning the league or anything like that. So I think that's one thing. As far as Bruno and Rashford, like I said at the beginning, I think people will lean into it and say, hey, they didn't play tonight. We had our best performance of the season. Coincidence? Who knows? Who knows? They didn't play. I mean, against that Palace side, I think even for me, looking at someone like a Rashford who is so out of form already this season, I'd have liked him to have come on for 20 minutes to get a goal or something like that to build up his momentum, because I think Palace were so off it. They were so poor. But as far as, you know, will Ten Hag put him back in? He'll put back in at the
Yeah,
game of the weekend.
and this is the thing about Ten Hag in terms of, I think he's still got favourites. You know, if he recognises a system that works, and this system did work, granted the opposition wasn't great, surely through his convictions, he said, okay, the systems work, the players in the system work, let me pursue with that. And then if we're struggling after 70 minutes, then bring on the likes of Rashford, for example. But I'm not sure whether Eric Ten Hag has got that conviction in him, or is it more he's got his favourite players, and those favourite players, once, you know, they will return in the big game. That's the question I have, Owen.
I think with the thing is, I think any manager would say that to beat Crystal Palace 3-0 in the Carabao Cup at home in the third round, when you rotate and the opposition rotated as well, and then to be like, I'm not going to put back in my captain and my star player last season. I mean, it's just, I think, and this is where I think as fans, we have to be careful about getting too carried away. You're right in the sense of, like, tonight was a fantastic performance, but not to the extent of like, we're going to, you know, drop the captain or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And also, like I said, I think you have to be wary of the team you are playing and all that kind of stuff. To me, the biggest positive is that what I look at tonight is the fact that we won 3-0 and we didn't have to bring them on. You know, how many times have we spoken about how many games Bruno plays or how many games Rashford plays? The fact that we have the opportunity now, and even Ten Hag maybe in those games, in those bigger games, those Premier League games, we talk about how he'd never take Bruno off, he'd never take Rashford off. Well, he might now, because he looks to the bench and goes, hey, I've seen them perform for me. So there's different options there as well. But as far as them losing their spot, I just think that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but I'm not saying losing spot, but, you know, you want Rashford to feel that his spot is under threat. So I'm going to Rashford a bit more than Bruno, because Bruno's a captain and he will come back. But I do have questions of whether Bruno will play. Can he perform at the top games? This is more on Rashford. Rashford must see that, look, Garnacho, when he was down, he gets back up. he goes for it again. I want to see that intensity of Rashford, and he shouldn't assume that just because he's one of the most senior players now in the team that he has an automatically God-given right to be starting. Inevitably he will start, but I wanted to feel a bit of pressure that his place could be under threat. But a big shout out to Amrabat and Mason Mount. Actually, there's a lot of people who sort of disrespect Mason Mount, and I'm not one of them. And I thought he played really well. Amrabat played well as I expected him to do, but Mason Mount deserves a bit of a shout. And I just think some fan members of the community just disrespect him a bit too much.
Yeah, I think that's fair with Mason Mount. I think that I understand some of the criticism. Granted, when some people say it's a strange one in terms of you did look at the midfield and still some of the gaps and go, I'm not sure how he totally fits there. Maybe some people didn't see the vision that maybe Ten Hag had seen or what have you. But you're right. After two games, wasn't it? The first two games, the Wolves one and the Spurs one, and they were saying he's awful, he's rubbish, and then he got injured, and then people kept saying that he's awful, he's rubbish, he's not going to work out at United, and you say to yourself, guys played like, I mean, to be honest, he never stood a chance because people were saying that in pre-season. I remember doing the match view for the first game of pre-season, which was against, was it Leeds? I think it might have been Leeds. And after like 45 minutes, they were like, Mount's rubbish. And you go, really? Really? Mount's rubbish after 45 minutes in pre-season? Like I said, my biggest thing this evening, I tell you what, that midfield, if you want energy and you want people to cover the pitch, you need options to do it over a 90-minute period across 2 or 3 games a week. And if we have all of the midfield options available, you got Casemiro, you got Amrabat, you got Mount, you got Kobbie Mainoo, you got obviously Eriksen, you got McTominay to come in there as well. I mean, that's like 7 midfielders that are decent midfielders. So I think that's the positive thing, certainly. And Mount fits into that. He was excellent.
Just one last point before I go, because I know you got the callers. Isn't it interesting that when we're not missing a certain Jaden, who's now been and like we got players like Danny, don't know his first name, Gore, Hannibal, who hungry players coming through. So fair play to them, and I hope Jaden gets what he deserves. Not being cynical here, but
I think I posted something earlier on social media with Jadon Sancho. There was an incident with Victor Osimhen yesterday or the day before where he got substituted and he had a go at his manager on the touchline. And what did he do immediately after the game in the dressing room? It was reported that he apologized. He apologized straight away because whether or not he feels, and he got substituted. So obviously he didn't feel that he should be substituted, but eventually you realize, hey, I don't pick the team. That's not my call. And it's the same thing with Jadon Sancho, in my opinion. The same thing, which is, you can have your belief that you're training well or you're not training well, but you don't pick the team. It's as simple as that. The hierarchy exists for a reason, right? Yeah. But as far as Sanchez night, he didn't play. So, and like you point out, I don't think we particularly missed him that much anyway. So there you go. Big up Amanov. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, thank you very much for your time. And thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
No problem. Appreciate you calling in, Amanor, as always, as well. How many likes are we currently on at the moment? We're currently at 157. We've got over 700 people watching. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Bottom right-hand corner. Where are we going to go next? Let's go to Lil Yo-Yo. Lil Yo-Yo. Easy for me to say. I'll tell you what, it's a tongue twister to say like 3 times in a row at this late.
Oh, dearie me, Owen.
How are you doing? Game? I'm good. I'm feeling good after that one. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. So I'm going to start off with this. From Casablanca to Rio de Janeiro, we have 2 destroyers in our team that are ready to do some damage this season.
Oof. I thought it was going to rhyme at the end.
I wanted to, but I thought, let's just get straight to the point here. We have to really stick into the actual nooks and crannies of what we have here.
Yeah.
Amrabat. Yeah. When was the last time we had a player like Amrabat in our team?
Oh, I mean, he did his interview after the game and he said they asked him when you played at left back and he basically said, I went up to the manager and said, I'll play anywhere, even in goal, doesn't matter.
See, this is the mindset you need to play at Manchester United. My chips are all in. This is the guy.
What you saying already, make it permanent.
60 Absolutely. What? How much? 100 million. Let's go.
Lil Yo-Yo Woodward in charge.
Yes.
DOF. I like
Let's go. Excellent. What?
Yeah.
Matt Judge. That's me.
But yes, talk to me about the game. What do you think of the performance?
Best performance of the season. We looked good. Really controlled the game. Of course, Palace rotated their squads like we did. but the most important thing is you got to beat what's in front of you. And what haven't we been doing this season?
Yeah, exactly. And also be clinical. I mean, when did we score our first goal
Exactly.
in that game? Pretty early on, right? 21st minute. 20 minute United.
Exactly.
21 minute. Boom.
There you
Take
go.
chances. Yeah, exactly. It's a
That's
difference.
all you
Isn't
need. Yeah,
it?
makes a big difference. I do have a question for you, Owen, though. What
Go
do you
ahead.
think constitutes a Dutch barbecue?
I don't know. It sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? I mean, when people keep saying that, you know what I mean? It could be something else. I don't know what a lot of these words mean. To me, I feel like there's something illegal involved, depending on where you are in the world. Maybe it's not legal in the Netherlands. Actually, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. Could be. I mean, but I still think that a dirty gal is some kind of like, you know, dish. I don't know. I don't know with these things.
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think?
I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there one step at a time, Owen.
Yeah. I'm always learning. I'm always trying. I'm open to new things. Yeah, exactly. As far as the people that played tonight, what do you think that means for the weekend? Of course, we've got to play them again. Old Trafford Saturday. I think it's 3:00 kickoff, isn't it?
Yep.
What do you think he does to the team? How much does he change? How much does he keep the same?
The most important thing here is he rotated today. Of course, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes will come back into the starting lineup. But I am very curious of what he will do in the midfield, because Amrabat really showed a lot today. And whether he's fit enough to play a full 90, that's the big question. But I reckon there will be some little tweaks in the midfield, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say then? Maybe does Hannibal come out and Bruno come in? Maybe.
Probably. And I mean, I hope Reguilon's fit for the weekend, because I would like to see Amrabat directly stay in the midfield. Of course, he can play anywhere if needed be, as he said. But we do need a proper left back there, because we have no left back right now.
Yeah. Well, this is what's interesting with Amrabat at left back, though. In games like this, it can work because you go like, we're going to have 60, 70% of the ball. You know, Amrabat essentially, even though he was left back in the first half, he was midfield. I mean, he was in the middle of the pitch. So maybe in those kind of games, it could work. So I wouldn't even be shocked. To tell you this, Louis, I wouldn't even be shocked if Amrabat started again at left back at the weekend, because he goes, actually,
I wouldn't be surprised either. Yeah. I mean, he likes to play inverted fullback. So, yeah.
That back four, when you look at it, it was Dalot, Varane, Maguire, Amrabat. Are we saying that maybe the only change might be Maguire out and Lindelof in? Maybe?
I mean, wasn't there reports maybe earlier today that Leacher wanted to play? Maybe he might be fit.
I tell you, we've got a bit of a selection dilemma on our hands, don't we? Look at this.
What are the odds?
Available.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
When has that happened?
Yeah, what's going on here? Look at that new doctor. He's in for a week.
It's a miracle. Our season's back to normal. We might actually go for something.
Title charges on. I mean, we don't get
Let's go.
Away. Yes. EPL, we're going to do it. What's it been? A decade in the making. We're going to win it again.
Also, I wanted to see Henderson get cooked today, but this guy, man. Shame he got injured.
Did you hear the reaction when he came off? It was almost like the crowd weren't sure what to do. They went.
It was a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, I wanted to kind of boo you, but I feel bad. It was sort of one of those.
I was ready to cook him differently today, you know, because the way you were talking the most, and then you got your move to Palace, and you're a second choice keeper there. So how's that going for you, mate?
Yeah, I mean, some would call it karma, you know. Karma. I believe the phrase is, Lulio, is karma is a bitch. Yeah, and that's what it was today.
Nicely said. Nicely said.
I feel like it was better than your Amrabat start, to be honest. I feel like that was kind of, you know, it's a bit more succinct.
Kudos to you. I'll give you that. Kudos to you.
I appreciate you calling, Lulio.
Big up every time.
Big up, Lulio. What a call that was. Oh, it's going to be difficult to follow, Lulio. That's going to be a strong call. That is straight away. Strong call, Lulio. How many likes are we on? We're on over 800 people watching. We are currently at 206 in terms of the likes. So if you haven't already clicked the like button, be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to, we're over 153. Are we 154? I can't be bothered to check, but we're growing. Lots of new subscribers recently. So big up to everyone that has subscribed in the bottom right-hand corner. Click that subscribe button. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Sean. Sean, What are your thoughts on that one? We spoke the other day. I said we just got through the Burnley one. Wasn't a pretty watch. That was a pretty watch. Much better. I tell you what, Sean, you're muted. Well, the microphone's not coming through. I said Lil Yo was going to be a difficult one to follow. Man, it was a tough one. It's always difficult, when you follow a good call, yeah. Very challenging. Very, very challenging. Now, I believe in second chances, guys. Do you believe in second chances? I do. Let's try again. Fingers crossed. Yeah? Just like our injury bug being lifted. Will Sean have sound? Sean. Damn. Oh, no, it's not going well. It's just challenging. Very, 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 very tough. Yeah. Sometimes you believe. Really. Yeah. Difficult. Joe Blackman knows. There you go. Joe Blackman knows. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Charles. Charles, what are your thoughts on that one? What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, that was a good game. That has to be the starting lineup. I mean, bar Harry Maguire for Alessandro and maybe Bruno for Mason Mount. That has to be the starting lineup going forward. I don't know why people say they want to bring in Rashford. I wouldn't bring in Rashford.
No Marcus Rashford for you?
I wouldn't bring in Rashford. He hasn't done anything to warrant just being thrown back in. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you would say in recent form, certainly not. Certainly not. But I suppose you could argue. This is why when we were chatting the other day, and I said that I wanted Rashford to play this evening for this very reason. Because I do think if he'd have come on, there's a high chance he'd have got a goal, and maybe you play yourself into form. And now you find yourself in a situation where people will point to others and say, hey, Garnacho played tonight, he got a goal. Where the goal's been for Marcus Rashford this season? I believe, is there only one? Two? I'm not sure how many.
Yeah, I think it's one goal, but that's not really it for me. It's more the way the team plays. I mean, Ricky says this all the time. It doesn't matter who scores the goals. Like, everybody keeps saying, if we play Rashford, he's going to score. It doesn't matter. The goals will come. The team has to play well. And the thing with Bruno and Rashford, when you play both of them, like today, how many breakaways did we have where there was like a Hollywood ball? Instead, we kept it simple. We recycled the ball. Everybody was on the same page. It was flowing. We had 60% possession or something.
Yeah, I believe it was even more than that. Actually, yeah. It was 69, basically 70. Charles,
you see, you put Bruno in there and you put Rashford, and every single breakaway, Bruno is playing the Hollywood ball over the top. Every single time it happens, game in, game out. That's why we lose possession the most. If I was Ten Hag, even watching this game, I'll be pulling Bruno and telling him, do you see this? You don't always have to play the ball first time. Sometimes keep it. Sometimes hold on to the ball. The chances will come. But every time it's like he's playing FIFA. You get the ball, you just play it over the top, hope for somebody to get it. That's not it for me. And Amrabat, anywhere he wants to play, left back, right back, center back, CM, just put him there. He has to be in the team. Just stick him somewhere. If we're going to remove anyone from today's team, it cannot be Amrabat. It cannot.
Yeah, he's so important. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the show that I don't think it's any coincidence that we're talking about Casemiro having his best game, goal and assist, but also as the game went on, he was going further forward. It's because he's got someone like an Amrabat to help him, and it's the help he hasn't had this season.
Honestly, watching the game today, I was more than impressed. Casemiro looked like Casemiro. We were winning the ball well. We were keeping the ball. Amrabat was playing left back, but he was tackling on the right wing. It was so nice to watch. It's been how many games since we were able to sit down and just be all right, there's no stress. We're playing the ball. The chances are coming. It was, I just pray come the weekend, it's more of the same, because I'm not getting too excited. It's only one game. We've had 7 previous games that were shit. Now we need to build on this. Now we need to go to Crystal Palace Saturday, we need to do the exact same thing we did today. I
Or
don't
at
want
home. We're at home. It's Old Trafford again.
even better. Like I need the same thing. I don't want to go there and then all of a sudden Crystal Palace are looking like prime Barcelona. I don't want to wake up 9 a.m. in the morning and watch Eze like turn bloody Varane or whoever inside out. I want to turn on the TV and watch Control.
I mean, to be fair, when I spoke to you on Saturday, you said that you fell asleep several times in the Burnley game. Did this one keep your attention? Were you glued to the screen?
Bro, I was glued. I was even watching the halftime ads. Like I was there. I didn't want to miss a second. You know, like even at halftime, I was thinking, what's this manager going to do? Like, I was so invested. I haven't been this invested in a Man United game this season since the Tottenham or Arsenal game. All the other games have been like, Lord, please, like, just win. I just need a win. But you see today, oh, bloody hell. I was impressed. And we need to build.
As well, actually, let's talk a little bit about Andre Onana, yeah, because obviously people have been criticizing him in recent games, shot stopping and stuff like that. But is this like the point that we were trying to make previously, which is he's the goalkeeper he's the goalkeeper you put in the team when you're not going to be facing lots of shots. Your team's going to be dominating the ball so much that the attacks they do have are going to be, 3 or 4 in the game or something like that. But when you're constantly in possession, he's the goalkeeper to have. So a game like tonight, and actually the way we play tonight, is perfectly suited for him.
Yes, but I don't look at goalkeepers.
That's happened twice. Charles disappears and then comes back. It's almost like a magic trick.
It can't be me. It's on my screen. You're the one that keeps like refreshing and stuff.
I didn't touch anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, damn. Looks like StreamYard wants me off. God damn it. What the fuck did I do?
Yeah. Wow.
Bloody crackheads.
Yeah. It's the Rashford slander. It's got the judge.
Bro, I don't even live in England. How is he getting me over here? Like,
it's powerful.
Yeah, true. He has been feeding kids though, so maybe. But let me just drop my points before StreamYard and Rashford kick me out.
Yes.
So just remind me what I was saying though.
Onana. It was Onana.
Yeah, I don't look at the goalkeepers like I'm the worst person to ask. Me, I was one of those that said, leave the hair, spend 45 million somewhere else. So goalkeepers, not my own forte. Anything else, I can talk, but he got a clean sheet. I don't know. That's just it for me, really, on the Onana thing. Keep him, don't keep him. I don't really care.
It was. I was waiting for a stronger ending, Charles. But you know what? It's fair. It's fair. I
mean,
like
you fed me goalkeepers, which isn't my forte. I feel like you're on Rashford's side, like today.
No. I'm just. I think with what people will do after today, and I've already started to see it with Rashford and Bruno as we win 3-0 midweek against a rotated Crystal Palace side that were poor, and we go see Rashford and Bruno, they're shit. They shouldn't play again. And
we made them look poor. We made Crystal Palace look poor. They went poor. We made them like.
They made a lot of changes though, Charles. They made a lot of changes. That was not their best side.
Brighton made 6 or 7 changes and they still bowled us off the park. Burnley had a team of under 21s that didn't even have faces on FIFA. Trust me. We don't make teams look the way we made Crystal Palace look also because we play well.
Wasn't me.
I'm telling you,
there
is something going on. This feels like I don't even know.
Wasn't me, Charles. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. At the moment you start going after Rashford, something happens. Yeah, something happens.
This seems racially motivated, bro.
Well, Charles. I mean, we leave that one there because what did you? This show's going to be the death of me. I swear, honestly. Wow, it's one of those ones. It's late, you know what I mean? Who says you don't get your entertainment on the full-time view, yeah? Who says you don't? It was that one was me. That one was me. Whew. Warm in there, isn't it? I'm telling you now. It'll be interesting, though, to see if this does happen to other people, in fairness. If it does happen to other people. So if it does, it's a StreamYard thing. It's not a Charles thing. So there you go. Am I caught up when it comes to super chats as well? I am. I tell you what, that was good, Owen. Let's go to Joe Blackwood. Joe, follow that one, my friend.
Do you know what? Yeah. Hey, Charles, allow it, fam. You're making Owen feel hot. Look at his face; he's red. Oh God!
I'm trying to figure out what Dutty Gal is. I don't need that.
Hey, do you know what's funny, right? I was actually gonna think, Owen, do you want me to explain to you what Dutty Gal is? Or
Not
should I
now.
just leave it for you to? I think you should leave it. I think I should leave it for you to go figure out for yourself. One day
Yeah.
you're gonna come on here and you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
I know what Dutty Gal is now. Yeah. I'm gonna enjoy the journey.
Yeah, and like one of those films, you know, when they climb a mountain and all that kind of stuff, and they get to the top, and then I'll meditate on it a bit. I'm sure I'll figure it out one day.
No problem. Well, I'll leave that one there. But you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you what. Tell me the manager is not picking players that are just gonna run for him and do the job he's asked for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Please, I'm telling you right now. All those players on the pitch today, he believes in. Yeah, whether they be too young, you know, they shouldn't be starting right now. Whatever anybody wants to think, right? Those players are doing exactly what the manager's asking. Yeah, and that's what we've all been waiting for. Yeah, for the full 90 minutes, a team to do what the manager's asking. Yeah, because there's certain players in the team that, you know what, they might start the match doing exactly what the manager's asking, but after a while they just give up. Yeah, and that's what we've been seeing for the start of the season. That's what we've been seeing, right? And it's been tiring to watch. Yeah, the same old stuff has been creeping in from the Oli days, from the Mourinho days. Just when players lose faith, they start to just drop their heads and not do what they're supposed to be doing, right? And it's been tiring for the very beginning of the season. But you know what? Credit to Ten Hag for choosing the players that he wants on the pitch right now, because they've been giving 100%. Hannibal, I want to give him a clap if I could, right? Well done. Yeah. Also, Pellistri, well done. Oh, what a great match he had. Yeah. Hannibal and Pellistri, players of the match. I don't even want to choose between both of them. Yeah. They both did well. Simple. Also, do you know what? Some people ask me about my thoughts on Onana.
Yes. Well, it's weird when you bring up Onana, because you always start off by going, I'm not going to criticize him. And then you say something positive. And then 2 seconds later, you go, I'm criticizing him.
Well, I'll be honest with you, right? Look, like you said, you know, I'm upset that I didn't get on earlier, because you touched on exactly what I was going to say.
Yes.
He likes games like this, right? He definitely likes games. Look, whenever Onana's on the ball, what is he doing? He's telling everybody to calm the F down. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. I don't like this fast game. I don't know what the hell's going on right now, because the Premier League is a little bit too fast for me, right? Honestly, remember where he's coming from, people. He's coming from the Italian league. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not like our league. Yeah, we boast about how fast our league is, how physical our league is, but I'm telling you, that's what he's not used to. It's been an update for him in what the Premier League is for him, right? And we've all been seeing it unfold in front of our own eyes. Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit fast for him, right? It's a little bit physical for him that he's not really used to, and I've been seeing it. But you know what? Give him time, people. Even me, I've had to step back and take a minute to say, you know what? Give Onana time, right? I was a very big DDG fan. Yeah, David De Gea was my guy. So when he got dropped like the way he did, I was a little bit emotional. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, people. It's the truth. Yeah, the truth is truth. Go check my show, right? But honestly, I think Onana just needs time. He did play a lot better underneath when he was playing in the Italian league, and even in the performances that he gave out in the Champions League, you could see that he's a better keeper than he's showing now. And you know what? The man needs time. He definitely needs time.
Well, he made a good save tonight as well. He made a save with his feet, I think, in the second half as well. Kept that clean sheet.
He got down left foot. He blocked that. Listen, I'm telling you, when the game is not so intense for him, you know, some people can handle a lot of shots.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some goalkeepers need to be active, and some goalkeepers don't want to be active. And I think Onana falls in the second half of that, because honestly, I don't think he likes to be active. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to control the game. And you know what? I've got no problem with that, because Man United needs to start controlling games a lot more than we are, honestly.
Yeah, and also it's about styles, isn't it? And that's kind of the point I was making earlier, that goalkeepers like Onana, you drop into a team that is like so defensively solid and controls the game so much that the opposition will only get like 3 or 4 shots a game. You know what I mean? So it's relatively calm and composed, and they're essentially an 11th outfield player, really what they are, instead of really being a goalkeeper.
Exactly.
You don't drop Onana into a team that's having like 25 shots against them in the game, because you will concede.
You're not going to be happy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so a game like tonight, and I know people will point out, they go, what? So he can only play in games tonight where the other team doesn't really show up. Not really, but it's more, again, it's more the style of play. I mean, Andre Onana is perfect for a game where you're dominating. You know, for instance, like if he was at City at the moment, there wouldn't even be that discussion about him, because he wouldn't be peppered with shots. He'd be building up. He'd be, you know, because they dominate football matches, and that's what suited to him, you know. And also, it's all a knock-on effect, because what does that come from? We control the game, because guess what? In the midfield, we're not chasing shadows every 5 seconds, because Casemiro's got runners with him. Amrabat's helping him out. Hannibal's running around too. Mason Mount in the first half was excellent. I mean, everything, as Ten Hag says, right? You defend as 11, you attack as 11. And I think
there you go. And I think that's the reason why we have to give a big shout out to Ten Hag tonight for choosing the players who's doing the things he's actually asked them to do, right?
Yes.
And you know what? I love Rashford and all that, but you know what, bro? You don't deserve to start. You do not deserve to start. You do not, yeah? If Ten Hag is going to keep the same energy that he said he was bringing, then honestly, Rashford, you don't deserve to start, fam, do you? Like, let's be real, people. As a community, Rashford does not deserve to start right now. Yeah, for the performance that Garnacho put in, no way. And what he's been doing for the last 5-6 games, get out of here. No. Yeah, and I love Rashford, by the way. Yeah, but no, you don't deserve to start.
If you were picking the team, would you start Rashford? If you were making that call at the weekend, if you were picking the team to face Crystal Palace again, Old Trafford, do you start Marcus Rashford?
If I am picking the team, no, he does not start, because you know what? He needs to learn. Bro, pass the ball. Yeah, stop shooting all the time. Pass the goddamn ball. Yeah, he's worse than Salah now. Salah and Mane fell out because of all that not passing the ball stuff, yeah? And then look at Rashford now. Yeah, find your man. Maybe it's a decision-making thing, but you know what? Bro, work on that in the football, on the training pitch, because that's what you need to do right now, honestly.
I think... Obviously, look, he is going to start at the weekend, as he definitely will. But what I think it does do is, I don't think, you know, we've said in the first few games of the season, I tell you what, Rashford wasn't playing well. Why didn't he come off? I think Erik ten Hag turns to his bench now and sees Garnacho and goes, actually, I'm not afraid to make that swap. You know, I did it.
Listen, why should you? Why should you? Do you know what? I'll be honest with you right now, yeah? All the players that did not play today, right? I don't know if I'd be upset if they didn't play in the next match, yeah? Because what I saw today was players that were doing exactly what the managers asked for and not dropping their heads. Obviously, there was nothing to drop their heads about. But at the same time, I know it wasn't a full Crystal Palace team, but I would like to see that same team take on that same Crystal Palace team. It's a perfect opportunity, actually, to play the same team, yeah, and see what they're capable of. Because you know Crystal Palace are going to play the strongest team in the Premiership. Right?
Yes.
So it's actual good opportunity to see what we're capable of, right? And take the opportunity to see if these players can do exactly what you asked for, Ten Hag, yeah, and deliver you a good match. Because what I saw today was players that didn't stop pressing. At one point, I saw 3 or 4 players, yeah, pressing at once around one player, and I was like, oh my god, why have we not been seeing this all season? Yeah. This is what we need. We need players to press. The pressing is the key to winning. Getting the ball back, keeping the ball, attacking the team as a team, defending as a team, like you said. I'm so upset. I'm so glad that I saw what I saw today, because you know what? It shows me that we don't need to rely on big goddamn names. Keep them names in the locker if they don't want to fucking do what the manager asked them to do. The manager is the boss. Nobody else. Sancho, hold the bench. Hold the locker room. I don't care what you hold. Do what the manager told you to do, or go about your business. Yeah?
Oh, I tell you what, Joe, that's a good ending, that. That's a strong ending. That's a strong
I love
ending.
you. Peace out.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there's no, I can't even, you know what I mean? Strong, very, very strong. A lot of people very strong this evening. That's what happens when you win games. You win games, it builds up. I feel like my team of the members, I feel like Ten Hag tonight. You know, I feel like the selection's been good so far. It's been very strong, very, very good. How many likes are we on at the moment? Are the likes as strong as the calls? Let's have a look. God, I sound like an old radio guy there. That was a disgrace. Are the likes as strong as the calls? We're currently at less than 300 likes at the moment. We are at 297. We can get to 300, maybe even 400. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Let's go to another call. Let's go to DN. DN, thoughts on the game? How you feeling? Are you feeling as happy as some of the other callers?
I'm feeling fucking happy as much as you can believe it.
Yeah, I tell you what, everyone is. Everyone's on fire this evening as well. Wow.
The only issue I had is, I don't know, maybe I was wrong, but first of all, Onana had nothing to do in the whole game. That's perfect. He needed that. But I think maybe he should have been given the rest. In the sense, we have to play Palace again. Then we play the UCL game next Tuesday. So he has big games coming up. But other than that, the biggest positive for me is Casemiro looks like he's back to his fucking best. He had that strength in him. He had that assist in him. He had that goals in him. He's our top scorer this season. What else do we need?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, actually. He scored so many goals, hasn't he? I mean, what do you think it is with Casemiro? Because some people were saying his legs are gone. Other people were saying this is actually quite normal for Casemiro. He takes some time to get into the season. Maybe he wasn't in the best physical shape in preseason. You know, fitness wasn't there. Or is it a case of that? Plus, you know, when you've got better players around you, you've got more legs around you. When you've got Sophie and Amrabat around you, you're going to play better. What do you think it is?
So I agree with him being not physically fit at the start of the season. You could see that. Maybe people were pointing out he has a belly or something like that, even though he tried to show that in the preseason game against, I think it was Dortmund, when he took off his shirt and showed us he still has a body that he can play with. The biggest thing, as you said, is Amrabat. If he had Scott McTominay playing there, you wouldn't see Casemiro playing his best. Because with Amrabat, he knew if he tries to attack, Amrabat comes into his position and then he can defend easily. So that's the biggest plus point, and that's really good for us, especially with the amount of games we have this season. Amrabat and Casemiro playing as the double pivot will be exceptional. You don't have to play McTominay, you don't have to play Eriksen. That's a big relief from my side. And with Amrabat, the biggest thing I just saw on Twitter as well as X, is that he is willing to play any position. You could play him striker, you could play him left wing. He's willing to sacrifice all of it. So that's the biggest thing you need from a player.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because also when you think about it, you say that he's willing to sacrifice everything to play for United. It's what he's done this season to get the move. He turned down every offer that came in. I think today was something coming out saying Liverpool were in for him. And then it was something on the player side. The reason it didn't happen, on the player side is because like everyone else, he went, no, I'm only going to Man United. And once he's got there, he's going to do everything to play. And I think that we have an affinity for players like that, don't we? I think because in recent years, it's probably a fair criticism of a lot of players, isn't it? Of how much do you really want to be there? How much do you care? And you can tell, and I know it's only one performance, but clearly he cares. And a lot of the players that played tonight, clearly they care. And that's a massive difference, isn't it?
Exactly.
No, I totally agree.
He shows Scott McTominay, even Jadon Sancho, the biggest person who needs to see this is, it doesn't matter if you're coming in on as a lone player or as a player who's only at the club for the past year or so. When you have the desire to play for United, you can do anything you want. You can apologize to the manager. You can go into his office and just say to him, put me back into the team. I'll do whatever I need. But Sancho has such a big ego. I think he should learn from these kind of players and see what they're willing to do for the club. And he's not.
Yeah, I mean, Sancho's situation is just wild, isn't it? What did you think of the absence of Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes? Do you think they come straight back in at the weekend, or do you think it's less about whether they come back in, more about those players that played tonight? Maybe they're more viable coming off the bench.
Bruno for me is 100% starting on Saturday, whatever happens, because I feel like if he was in the team today, we'd probably be winning 6-0. That's what I think. But with Rashford, I said this before as well. I think he needs a 2-game rest. So he's had a rest now, and then he needs a rest on Saturday. Even if that's for like the first 45 to 60 minutes, that's fine. But because he needs to know there's other players willing to take his place in the 11. You had Garnacho today. I feel he was very unlucky in the sense that he only got 1 goal because the way he was playing, he would have easily got 2 or 3. And with
Yeah.
Pellistri showing that he can easily keep the right side to himself. So I feel maybe this is something that I think Ten Hag might do. But the only issue now is with Mount going off in the 45th minute is, does he play Mount on the right and Garnacho on the left with Højlund on top so that Rashford can come back later on and see if the game is 0-0 or we're not playing as well. Then Rashford can start. But I think Rashford has to be on the bench. He needs to know there are other players who are willing to play instead of him and show what you need to do to score goals and win games for United.
I think the real positive thing coming out of this one is the fact that, you know, just a week ago, it's funny, it's amazing how quickly football can move. Because a week ago, people would have said, you know, drop Bruno and Rashford. You'd have said, who for? Like, who? Now, suddenly, we've got, it feels like a bench full of options, you know, and maybe some of those more untouchable players, suddenly they're not. I think you're right with Bruno. To be honest, they're both going to start at the weekend. I'd be flabbergasted if they didn't, to be honest with you. I'd be really surprised. But I do agree with you when it comes to Bruno. I know that people will not like him and that people will look to tonight's result and say, oh, see, that's why. But I do agree with you. I feel like if Bruno Fernandes played tonight, I think he gets a goal. He probably gets a couple
100%.
of assists as well.
I think even with we're still missing Kobe.
Mm.
And he has to come back in. And then you have Martinez playing in defense whenever he returns from his injury. See, the amount of players we still have out are Van Bissaka, Shaw, Malacia, Martinez, Kobe. That's 5. And then when those players come in, Ten Hag can have all the players he wants. And the biggest thing I feel is, with the players who are not putting in everything in training and who are not willing to play properly, even if they've given the full chance. Even with Dan Gore today, he looked really good for the amount he played.
Yeah.
Even with Donny, he was trying to impress Ten Hag. That's 100% sure. So I feel like these players, even the shocking thing I had was Martial's been playing really good for the past 2 games. The one he's in the cameo he had with Bayern in the game he
It was
started
excellent.
today.
Yeah, when he
was
came on
really
against
good.
Bayern, he was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
Really good.
And today he gets his goal too. Link up play strong
Exactly.
as well.
So
Yeah.
every player is showing why they have a chance to start any game for United. It's not like they just need to start like cup games. But I think Ten Hag is keeping an eye on who is willing to sacrifice for the badge and who isn't. And the biggest thing I feel now is he has everyone he wants. And they're all ready and willing to go and win it for United. I think the cups are hopefully ours, especially the Carabao Cup, because we need a trophy this season. I don't think, of course, anything can happen in the Premier League, but the Champions League is, of course, out of contention anyways. So probably the EFL Cup and the FA Cup is something we need to eye on. And I think Ten Hag loves cups anyways. You could see that with him at Ajax as well. I think we have a good chance of winning both of them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Big up DM for calling in. Great call, that as well. Strong calls as well this evening as well. Let's have a look at where we're at with super chats. Ahmad says, say no to Inshallah football, aka Bruno and Brash, and also says as well, just to be clear, being critical is not hating. We want them to be better and start playing like a team. That's all. And I think, look, I think you're right, Ahmad. I think, unfortunately, nowadays it's a very fine line, isn't it? It's a very fine line between being critical and people taking things too far, really, and also maybe people being unrealistic. I think with certain things as well. What we should do, certainly, I think, is when we have victories like tonight, enjoy it. I mean, it's a lot better than losing. You know, it's a lot better than losing and being disappointed and going, where on earth we're going to get our next victory from. The thing is with games like the Carabao Cup, it's for instance, if we play Crystal Palace at the weekend and we don't get a result and we lose or something like that, it almost makes this one a little bit redundant, doesn't it? Because the one that really matters is the one in the league. So the important thing is to not dwell on it too much. It's important to build momentum. And as I said in leading into the game, I feel like Ten Hag will use these games and the cups this season to do what he did last season: build momentum. Coming out of the World Cup, we had cup matches, Carabao Cup, FA Cup against teams we should have been beating, your likes of your Burnleys, your Readings, your Charltons, etc. And what did we do? You played strong teams because you have to breed that winning mentality. And you just have to keep winning, keep winning, keep winning, keep winning, and build momentum and have that winning feeling. Winning's a habit. Winning's, it's just like anything else. Winning's a habit, and it takes time to form. It takes a long time to form habits. It doesn't happen overnight. And in the same way as losing is a habit. Lots of things. We've got lots of bad habits in this team, whether it be head going down, giving up, conceding immediately after scoring. We've got, bad habits. So you have to take time to form good habits as well. And tonight was the next step, hopefully, of building some momentum. But there you go. What a show, guys. I tell you what, this hour does absolutely fly by, doesn't it? Excellent stuff. What's on tap? Well, I'll tell you what's on tap. Fan views coming up, of course, outside Old Trafford, also from inside UVHQ of KG and the panel that was there. What a match view it was today. As mentioned, Flex will be outside Old Trafford. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I'll be live, as always, Match Day Reloaded, Carabao Cup edition. It's no different than the other Match Day Reloaded. But I'll be live at 9 to discuss the fallout of the game, some quotes, some discussion points, some player quotes as well, some reactions, and just see what's happening as well. It's always fun to get up early and start your day with a Manchester United news, isn't it? Anyway, guys, have a great Tuesday evening, and we're through to the fourth round. I'm out of here. Peace.